civil liberties, violence, loneliness, disease, unresolved intimacy issues, the ravages of age, hunger, sexual frustration, existential dread, the looming specter of death.
For more on this unending story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can join us right here on the radio waves and take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live by dialing in at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or Skype on in at Skype username LRN.FM. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Daryl.
Coming up, Economics in One Lesson. We've got that book that we've been doing chapter by chapter, talking about the chapters on the air, because there's some important ideas in there, and it's been an interesting discussion. Hopefully we're going to get into chapter 13 here tonight. Of course, you can take control of the airwaves. For those of you just tuning in, we have been discussing some of the controversial advertising that has been surrounding the Super Bowl this year. It's always something worth talking about, and usually it's because some company goes too far in the determination of whatever television network is airing the Super Bowl, which, of course, ends up getting that company even more advertising for their money because news media writes stories about it. Radio shows like ours talk about it. And hopefully conversations get started, especially when the issue is an important one, like immigration, that both Budweiser and a company called 84 Lumber have addressed. We're going to get back into the 84 Lumber ad because we've all watched it. It's a long one. There's the full-length ad is like 6 minutes long, and we have watched it here tonight. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But first, Marcia is on the line listening in Albuquerque to Kiva. Go ahead, Marcia.
Yes. Did you know because of the strict immigration in 1939, a Jewish ship, and I think other ships too, a steamliner called the St. Louis, was turned away from coming into this country with 900 some odd refugees on it?
Yes.
And
they refer to that as the Voyage of the Damned.
That's right.
That boat was actually turned away by numerous countries before being sent back to Germany.
And they were sent back to Europe, where a quarter of them died, but nobody made a big stink over that. I mean, I want to say
I'm glad you brought that up because it's proof, it's evidence in my book that the U.S. government did not care about Jewish people. Had they actually cared about them, they would have let them in and brought them to safety. But instead, they turned them away and sent them to their doom. I didn't know only a quarter of the ship died. I figured they would have, done a lot worse than that. But still, it's a horrifying story and just proof that the U.S. government was involved in this war for other reasons that probably had more to do with world power than it did saving Jewish people.
Well, I'm sure. Well, they didn't come in until the end. But can I say something else? Mm-hmm. I don't know when you go to the pharmacy or what medical care you have, but I believe all over the country, when you go to the hospital or a doctor or a pharmacy, if you don't speak English, they have translators, I believe, in like 17 languages, German, Russian, Italian, French, Spanish, Farsi, just to name a few. I mean, that they will help you with your health care and translate for you. And I had it printed out, but I threw it away. Hello?
Yeah, we're right here. I'm listening. That's interesting. You're pointing out that these companies are, they're doing their best to accommodate as many people as possible.
Well, I don't know. I don't think so, because I remember when my mother came to this country, and just because she didn't speak English, and she came in 1923, and she went to school, and she was, just obedient. They pulled her hair out because she spoke broken English and beat her up. And there was no ACLU then. So what did she do? She learned perfect English, my mother, and became the valedictorian of the class.
So wait, you're saying that you don't want people? You're saying you don't want the company, these companies, to speak different languages?
Right. Learn. Yes, I'm saying learn English. That should be the language of the land.
So until somebody learns English, you think they should be crippled as far as what they can actually accomplish here?
Yes. I don't mean crippled. I don't mean beat up or thrown out.
No, what I mean by is their chances would be diminished because they don't have the ability to speak the language. You don't even want them to be able to get medications easily. I mean, come on. What's wrong with these companies providing services? What's wrong with the companies sees it in their best interest to provide
to make money, right?
Yeah. So what's the problem with that? I mean, why is that such a big deal to you?
Well,
they're going to learn it anyway because it makes you. The reason why you will learn English, Marcia, is because it benefits you. But you don't need to know every word of English when you first get here. As soon as you're immersed in another language, you're more likely to pick it up. You're more likely to have an interest in doing it.
I don't think so. Where I live now, because I live in Section 8, and the people in the leasing office, well, they have to be Spanish. They have to speak English and Spanish to get hired there because lots of people just speak Spanish. But they don't learn English. They can be in this country forever, and they just don't learn English.
Well, if the numbers don't bear out what you're saying, I'm sorry.
Well, there are sects of people that live in Pennsylvania predominantly that don't speak English, and nobody's saying that we should kick out the old order Amish that only speak German.
I didn't say, but the Amish, they don't bother anybody, and I mean, I don't think they're on welfare.
I've never been bothered by a Mexican immigrant.
Well, I'm not saying physically. Well, where I live, I don't know who. Well, everybody. I'm not saying. Well, there are criminals, and
there are criminals who speak English too.
Yes, actually, I think they should put a ban on immigration, period.
Well, that is a terrible, un-American, anti-freedom idea. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself because...
I'm not ashamed. I have one question to ask you. Okay, this is off the topic. Why is everybody so much testosterone flowing with the Super Bowl? I mean, what is it? It's like, are these people related to the players?
I don't know.
This
Who
is
cares?
The highest holy, and
you know what? Your call is so disjointed and confusing. You in the very beginning sounded like you might have supported immigration, talking about the ship of Jews that was turned.
That wasn't a terrorist country. These people just wanted to get through. They just wanted
Mexico's
to get in.
not a terrorist country either.
Yes, they are. The Islamic countries
Mexico is not an Islamic country. Mexico is primarily Catholic, as I understand it.
I didn't say Mexico.
Well, then you're not listening because you're shouting too loud about how you want to build a wall.
And she was also the one that talked about how the people are speaking Spanish and not English. So you're the one that brought up and referenced Mexicans. Even though you might not have actually said Mexico, reference people speaking...
Wait a minute. You're twisting my words. I think everybody who comes here should speak English. And that's what I feel about it.
So send them back to their deaths. Send the ship of Jewish people back to their deaths because they were speaking German.
They did.
Yes, you supported that? You supported turning them back?
Those people... What?
You supported sending that ship away? Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You either stop immigration.
They didn't get. My grandmother didn't get welfare. My mother did. There was no welfare then.
Most immigrants don't get welfare. You're so misinformed. No, they don't. Thank you for the call. You're so misinformed. You don't even know what you're talking about. You probably have never actually sat down and talked to more than 0 immigrants.
And that was a very disjointed call that went from, on the one hand, it sounded like she supported we should welcome refugees because the people on the Voyage of the Damned wound up dying. And then she wound up saying that if you don't speak English, then you should be banned from the country because criminals...
Further, she said reject everybody from coming here.
And football. So... I think I'm the only person in the studio that actually enjoys watching football.
I've enjoyed watching football. I just don't. I mean, if I'll sit down, I can watch the game and understand what's going on and know who's winning and 10 yards, first down. I know the rules. I've seen enough football to know it.
And
I just don't pay attention.
You don't have to be related to the players to enjoy watching a game.
Right. Well, she's a confused woman. Thanks for the call there, Marcia. And interesting that she's also in Section 8 housing. So we appear to have a lot of listeners in Section 8 housing in Albuquerque. I wonder if she knows Sarah.
They might be neighbors.
Yeah. they're like they're buddies calling radio shows together or something like that. We'll have to ask, because that's not her first call. We've had Marcia call a couple times now.
Marcia.
So we'll have to we'll see if they know each other. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733, or maybe they know each other and they don't like each other. It's Free Talk Live.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-940-9829. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-940-9829. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-940-9829. That's 1-800-940-9829.
Do you trust the economy? How about our banking system? Our president states that we're sitting on a bubble right now, and when the Fed raises interest rates, bad things are going to happen. Well, the Fed is outlining rate hikes here and now. There's never been a better time to turn your IRA into physical gold with GSI Exchange. 800-261-5570. That's 800-261-5570. GSI Exchange can make this happen fast, and it's money you control, not the big banks. 800-261-5570. Ask about our Gold and Silver Investors Guide and learn how your qualified IRA transfers can get you $1,500 in free physical gold or silver delivered right to your home. GSI Exchange has an A-plus rating on the Better Business Bureau, too. Get the security for your money now. Call GSI Exchange at 800-261-5570. 800-261-5570. That's 800-261-5570.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and as always, you can join us right here, toll-free, live Sunday edition of the program. And yes, we're here in the studio taking your calls about whatever you want. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Skype username is LRN.FM. Tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Daryl.
Have you ever wanted to start your own blog or website, but just haven't gotten around to it because it's a little overwhelming? You're not so sure how to go about doing it? The folks over at HostGator make it easy. They've got a 99.99% uptime rating, so you don't have to worry about the site going down. They've also got 24/7 over the phone or live chat tech support in case you get stuck. They've got a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress and a very intuitive and user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation and the simplicity of use into your hands. So go to HostGator.com/FTL and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices because you're a Free Talk Live listener with HostGator.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. As we continue here, we still haven't really gotten into a discussion about 84 Lumber, which has a controversial ad that Fox Television said they would not air on the Super Bowl broadcast, so they had to change it. And we'll tell you about that coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts. Welcome to the phones and the fun. We've got David in San Francisco. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Johnny Ray, and Daryl.
Oh, howdy. Hey, I've probably mentioned before that I believe that Trump is organized crime, and so when I see his proclamations, his executive orders, the only thing I can really think of is that what he's trying to do is to give organized crime back an income stream. So, for example, if you wanted to sneak across the border in the old days, you would go to organized crime to get a dirty passport. If you wanted to do some smuggling across the border, you'd go to organized crime to get it done. If you wanted to trap somebody into prostitution, you'd find a bunch of people with bad papers and you'd be able to blackmail them. If you wanted to trap people into committing acts of crime, you could do the same thing.
Well, all of that stuff happened during the Obama and Bush administrations. I mean, what's different?
Oh, it's happened for centuries.
Right,
actually.
so what's changed?
Well, we were trying to have open borders before 9/11, and a whole bunch of people fell for the official story and didn't believe the reality of what happened on 9/11. And we
What did
started
happen on
clamping
9/11?
down the borders. What's that?
What did happen on 9/11?
Coup.
What does that mean?
America got tricked into most people never studied enough science, and they believed that a couple of planes would be able to knock down buildings like that, but they didn't know that there were other reasons why people wanted to bring those buildings down. Any number of participants took part in the whole thing. Do you realize that the New York office of the CIA building was destroyed? Or excuse me, the New York office of the CIA was destroyed that day?
Yeah, I heard there were some government offices in those buildings. I was just, we've heard all the conspiracy theories here, so I was just curious as to which one you subscribe to.
Security Exchange. Out here in San Francisco, I work on energy issues, and we were hot on Enron at that time, and Enron documents got destroyed that day.
Okay.
The Security Exchange Commission also got wiped out. All of the data that went into, the famous ticker tape that you see on the old black and white movies, that's a real thing. And that went into the Security Exchange offices, and every tittle and jot that went into that Security and Exchange building or office got destroyed that day, and all of the Enron documents.
So you're saying it was because of 9/11 that the borders got clamped down on. I mean, the border control existed prior to that, though.
Oh, sure it did, but it wasn't. America had already put together NAFTA, which was designed to be a happy family of Mexico and Canada, United States, Mexico, and Canada. We were going to have free trade, and that was why many people.
You do know that NAFTA's trade restrictions, not freedom, right?
Well, I'm no supporter of NAFTA. I wasn't then, and I'm not now. But that was the official story.
Well, that's
a
lie.
The mom and pop, that was the mom and pop story. The reality was that the borders create the fake economics. The story was
borders they don't create fake economics. They get in the way of real economics. Meaning that the economy is not
If you look
free because the borders are there getting in the way with their restrictions and tariffs that increase the cost of doing business, and that hurts the economy.
Well, tell you what, as libertarians, where do you all stand on the issue of currency exchange and the very idea of speculating in currencies?
Hold on. So currency exchange and speculating in currency are two different things.
Well, they're speculating.
They sound like
in
exactly
currency.
the same thing to me.
No, so currency exchange is, I have a Canadian $5 bill and I need to exchange this for an American $5 bill.
Okay.
That's currency exchange.
All right.
Currency speculation is somebody saying, and this happened with the Iraqi dinar after the fall of Saddam Hussein. There were a bunch of people that said, I'm just going to buy a bunch of Iraqi dinar and hope that it winds up going up in value, and then I'll be really, 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 really rich. Now, obviously, you have to go to an exchange to wind up being able to convert your
The cash out.
U.S. dollars for the Iraqi dinar or whatever currency you have. So you have to use an exchange to be able to invest, but buying, in and of itself, exchanging currency is not speculating on currency.
I'm just wondering, what's the issue? You asked us, David, how do we feel as libertarians about these issues? What is the issue?
When you go to World War I, you find that currency speculators were really the cause of World War I. That people, nowadays we've got instant communication.
I thought it was shooting the prince. Was it Prince Ferdinand?
The Archduke.
Archduke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was, and when you find out about him, turns out he was really a rogue. He was a guy that used his diplomatic influence to seduce women, to cheat at poker, to cause all sorts of mayhem.
So you're saying that his assassination didn't have anything to do with World War I, that it had to do with currency speculation?
It was the official cause.
How is it that
the official treaties? There were treaties between various nations, and those treaties were so complicated. There were secret treaties, there were official treaties, and the strangulation of all of those treaties, because this jerk dies. And this guy was a jerk. There was not a single person that liked him. He would use his diplomatic immunity to insult people, to go to parties and cheat people, seduce wives, cheat at poker, steal things. He got away with murder because of diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
And he gets murdered in an assassination. And because this jerk gets murdered, the honor of protecting monarchy comes up with all of these diplomatic arrangements, these treaty arrangements, and officially World War I started, and millions of people died because of the diplomatic strangulation.
More coming up. Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
ProPure water filters, making water great again. Taste and feel the difference with state-of-the-art filter technology. Pro 1 G2.0 and Pro Max filters are independent lab-tested to NSF standards. Choose from Gravity, Countertop, Pitcher, Shower, and Inline filtration products. There's a ProPure for you. Buy risk-free today. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine. so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading, Friday gold is even at $1,217 per ounce. Silver is down 4 cents at $17.50 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $1,012 US. Robertson Roberts has been helping clients buy and sell precious metals for 40 years, and we can help you. Give us a call today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can join us here. Live Sunday edition. Take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. If you would like to support Free Talk Live, we'd like you to join the AMP program. You can go over to amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And it's $5 a month. You'll get perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, AMP-only Facebook group, as well as the AMP-only podcast, and more. Get all the details over at amp.freetalklive.com. Get signed up with any major credit card through PayPal, or you can use Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Bitcoin right there on the AMP page to get signed up. And it makes a big difference when you do that. So please take a moment and go amp the show today at amp.freetalklive.com. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray, and Daryl.
Back to your calls and thoughts here. I do want to get an answer out of David in San Francisco. You were talking about history, World War I. You said that it was currency speculation was the reason for the conflict, not so much the assassination of the Archduke. And you never really got to the point, so I want to give you another chance.
Yeah, appreciate it, because it basically, when all of these treaties started being negotiated, like I say, almost no one in the world liked this guy, Archduke Ferdinand. He was a jerk. The Belgians didn't like him, the French, the Germans, the Hungarians, the Italians. He was a jerk. He made his way around the diplomatic circles. He was a mooch and a liar and a thief and every other thing.
So like every other politician. Okay. Well, what's that have to do with currency speculation?
But when you start looking at, if you're going to go from France to Italy to Spain, and you've got to, at that time, this was before the International Monetary Fund, at that time you had to use the current diplomatic status between the franc and the Italian lira, the current diplomatic status between the Italians and the Spanish. And every country had their own exchange rate based upon their own personal politics between each nation. And I'll talk about the International Monetary Fund later, but at that time, every nation was, and this was without electronic communications like we have today, and you had to be a real insider to know what the current state of finance was and current state of political stability was. And when you were a shipper, a person who was, a shipping captain or a shipping agent, you had to know current politics to be able to know whether it was worth it shipping to another nation because the exchange rate might change. Now, if you were to bet on the Italian lira today and then say, well, something bad's going to happen to the Spanish, how about I get in there just when it happens and I'll buy low, sell high with somebody's currency? Well, with the secretiveness and the real insiders, there were a bunch of major financiers of the day, both European and American, who made a practice of speculating in currencies, and they basically created this knot of diplomatic strife, which caused World War I. They basically played one nation against each other. They would praise a nation, they would curse a nation. The same person would see to it, with whisper campaigns or with propaganda campaigns. They would praise a nation and curse a nation week by week, just in order to cause the speculation to come through.
But wouldn't a war damage a country's currency, given that they're spending a bunch of it on bombs and things that blow up tanks or whatever?
Well, sure, and nobody wants a war.
Well, some people do.
Yeah, the manufacturers of arms, sure.
Right.
But the speculators caused it, and there were, I'm trying to think of the name of there was a famous individual, he was Count von so-and-so, and he was called the most evil man in the world because he was one of those speculators. And he basically played one nation, week by week. He would praise and curse.
Are you saying, though, that the speculators intended to start conflict, or that was, it went too far and that, they went beyond what their intentions were? David, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Unless, and again, I'm not an expert on currency speculation or anything like that, but it would seem that if the country's going to war, that's going to hurt their currency.
Right.
So anyway, maybe like I said, maybe they weren't intending to meddle that far, and it went beyond their intentions.
Right. And again, he was talking about currencies that the value was not dependent upon a free and open market. The value was dependent upon some central authority saying, sort of like what the president of Venezuela says, our currency is worth 10 Bolivar Fuerte to $1
arbitrarily set.
Whereas on the open market, it's somewhere around like 2,000-3,000.
It was 2,800 per Bolivar per dollar the last time we looked, I think. Actually, no, I think it had crossed 3,000 again. It had gone as high as 4,000, dropped down after some manipulation of their money supply, and according to Dollar today, right now, it is 3,323 bolivars per U.S. dollar. Let's go to Tom. He's in Nashua, New Hampshire. Hello, Tom.
I just got to point out something about the travel ban involving people from those 7 countries, that Donald Trump, all he's doing is babbling and scribbling. Okay? He's sitting there and he scribbled an autograph on a document.
Yep.
Okay? He's not at the airports blocking these people who are walking from the jet to the taxi cab. He's just babbling and scribbling.
Mm-hmm.
It's his goons in Customs and Border Protection that are stopping these people, and they are responsible for their own actions. They chose to sign up. They are free to get a job and work for a living instead. So it's very important to remember, I'm just doing my job. Well, don't do your job. I want to point that out, but I got.
So wait, are you saying that the Border Patrol should ignore Donald Trump's orders and continue to allow people to come in, or are you saying that they should ignore the court and continue to block people?
They should refrain from violating anybody's right to travel from the jet to the taxi cab.
I agree with you there, but it'd be nice if they would just abolish themselves, but that's not going to happen.
And the other point I want to bring up, given what the previous caller said, I want to bring up a little-known fact here about not the First World War, but the Second World War. And it appeared in the Nashua Telegraph on March 28, 1933, on page 9. And it's certain New York banks are getting the jitters over our anti-Nazi demonstrations and boycotts. They claim these will give Germany an excuse to repudiate all her private obligations to this country, and that Dr. Schacht, new head of the Reichsbank, would welcome the opportunity. It's estimated it would cost 4 banks $200 million if the Germans simply repudiate. That is, they say they're not going to pay it. They're going to write it off and refuse to recognize that they owe all this money that they are contractually obligated to pay. And that this is what put a damper on United States government response to the anti-Jewish actions of Hitler and his goons. Okay, it's buried in a small article, but if people around the country dig out, pull up on microfilm their local newspaper, 28 March 1933, they'll probably find it because it is an Associated Press story, and they'll say, aha, the United States bureaucrats were probably putting a damper on their the protest against anti-Jewish actions because they didn't want the banks to lose a lot of money.
Tom, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. As we continue, we got enough time for you. If you want to get in here, you can do that now. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. Whether you want to talk about history or the back into the conversation about controversial football advertising, we didn't yet talk about this 84 Lumber ad that was so controversial. Fox refused to air it as it was originally submitted. There's more coming up here. You can join us on Free Talk Live.
The following is an incredible, life-changing free offer for anyone with hearing problems who wants to start hearing everything more clearly again. We're now offering free in-home trials of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear to anyone who calls this special toll-free number now, 1-800-956-9829. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers. It adjusts to let you find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. Don't miss this special life-changing opportunity to hear everything more clearly again for free with a 100% free in-home trial, free shipping, and even free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-956-9829. That's 1-800-956-9829. 1-800-956-9829.
All right, guys, we're ready for our Four Seasons sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah! No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-848-6333. That's 800-848-6333.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Tipping. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin tip returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card Bitcoin tip that's easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets and spending, and returns to the tipper if unused. Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
Hey, Free Talk Live, you can dial in toll-free and take control of the airwaves even in these remaining moments. We got enough time for you if you join us now. Unfortunately, though, we're not going to have time for Economics in One Lesson tonight. We'll have to save Chapter 13 for next week when things... Oh, sorry, Johnny Ray. Let's try that one more time. Try now.
You know, I didn't think that that I would have much to say about it, but as I was frantically...
About what, Chapter 13?
Yeah, about parity pricing. But as I was frantically preparing at the last moments today,
yes,
I found references to commie spies and some other interesting stuff. So I look forward to talking about that next week.
Next week, we'll do that. Of course, we still got time for you, Ian, Johnny Ray, and Daryl in the studio here tonight on Super Bowl Sunday as the New England Patriots coming back a little bit. Apparently, they just picked up another touchdown. Current score 28-20.
28-20, and I'm hitting refresh. There are 4 minutes and 47 seconds left in the game.
It's going to be a close one. So anyway, let's continue here with your calls and thoughts. We go to Jimmy. He's in Arizona. Jimmy, you're on Free Talk Live.
How y'all doing?
Hey, that's a voice I haven't heard in a long time.
I've not heard this voice in a long time.
Yeah. Well, I was in jail.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a long story.
Well, we don't have a long time, but can you give us the compressed version?
Yeah, well, it was an accidental dog lobotomy. And
okay, how was that an accident? What happened?
Well, I got arrested because I was running an illegal animal A, B, and C, which means it's an acupuncture, brothel, and chiropractic. And
okay, hold on. Let me see if I can clarify something. It was an animal acupuncture, brothel, and chiropractic. Does that mean that the animals were the customers or the animals were providing the services, or both?
Hopefully both. Hopefully it was both, and only to other animals.
My legal representative told me not to discuss it. Really like to go over the details.
All right, fair enough. So what happened at this ABC?
Well, this guy brought in a Chihuahua, and he wanted some acupuncture done.
Mm-hmm.
Said that Chihuahua was acting up and needed to relax a little bit. And he thought acupuncture would do it, but well, I had that dog on the table, and it kept twitching and moving, and I accidentally lobotomized it. And he's dumber than a box of rocks right now. And so they said it was animal cruelty, and they arrested me. It's horrible.
Now, when was this? How long ago was that?
Oh, about over a year ago.
And,
and it was.
You went to jail. Did you take a plea deal? What happened with the court scene?
Yeah, I took a plea. It was a family operation. Milfred, she was taking the money. Jar Jar Jr. was doing security, and
so what were the
Jar Jar
charges?
Jr.
What were the charges that they hit you with?
Cruelty to an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Was that a misdemeanor or felony?
He's a special needs animal now.
Special needs animal.
Yeah.
And so
does this Chihuahua have a seeing eye dog?
He might. He probably does.
So you did you go to jail on the plea deal, or did they just give you a suspended sentence?
He said he was in jail.
I just got out.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Now,
I'm planning on making a lot of calls here soon.
About what? To where?
I got lots of things to talk about.
You want to call us? Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, it's always good to have you. Always brought a little bit of comic relief to the show, whether that was intended or not. Now, which were you in Sheriff Joe's jail, or what part of Arizona?
Yeah, Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I also got in trouble for soliciting sex to Joe Arpaio. So it's been kind of a bad couple of years,
I guess so. Yeah, he's probably the kind of guy that doesn't want that on the outs. I mean, maybe he would go for it, but he probably just doesn't want people to know about that kind of thing.
Probably not. Well, I want to say I miss y'all.
Oh, thanks, Jimmy.
I'll be calling again.
All right, man. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. That's Jimmy from Arizona. The good one. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Let's go to David. He's in New Mexico. Hello, David.
Hey.
What's on your mind tonight?
Joe R. Piehole.
Okay, I've never heard that one. That's a good one. Go ahead.
Yeah, made that one up a while ago. Well, by the sounds of Jimmy, I would say he's from Cornville, Arizona, if anybody has been there.
Nope. I'll try not to go.
Good plan.
All right, what you got?
Well, I almost forgot, but one thing I remember is you were talking about 1939. My grandfather shipped my father out of Nazi Germany in 1939, and no, couldn't get into the U.S. Had to go to South America for about 16 years before they could get into to the States. And let's see. So I'll take your recommended notes. Let's see. Oh, you're talking about New Mexico Section 8. Yeah, you're probably well aware that New Mexico is, if not the poorest state in the union every year. It's in the bottom couple, or for sure
it's
the
in the bottom
five.
We actually looked into that recently. Somebody else had called, and I think Mississippi was at the very bottom of that list.
Sounds right.
But it was, I think, definitely in the bottom 5.
New Mexico battles Mississippi every year for the bottom of everything. And just to give you one stat on money, for instance, the revenue that New Mexico needs in order to operate, to keep its government, everything that the government does, Section 8 and everything else, notwithstanding the federal funds, 1/3 of their revenue comes from the extractive industries, meaning, oil and gas and stuff like that. So, if oil and gas wasn't there, New Mexico would be short, 33 1/3% of its revenue, meaning that the industries in New Mexico, the business in New Mexico, doesn't even produce enough to pay for the government by only 2/3 of it. And then let's also remember that New Mexico, most states don't have any national labs. New Mexico has 2 of them, and military bases are pretty much equally scattered because it's by intent that way. Your federal legislators bring home the pork, so they want their equal share of military spending in their state, and we have 3 Air Force bases here. So if you got rid of the 2 national labs, and that's Sandia and Los Alamos, not the one that's named after my cousin, not Lawrence Livermore, but Sandia and Los Alamos. If you got rid of those two and you got rid of the 3 Air Force bases and you got rid of the extractive industries, you'd be down to like the New Mexico would produce an income probably about half.
Can always sell some sand from the desert. Hey, David, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Let's talk to Charles in South Carolina. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, Charles. You're listening, by the way, in Charleston to WTMA. Go ahead.
Yes, this is Lucy in Charleston. I want to clear that up about the St. Louis, the ship that went to Cuba and then New York with the Jews aboard. That was in 1938. Nobody thought that a world war was coming except Churchill, and he wasn't even in power. He wasn't elected till May of 1940. The Second World War.
Does that mean it's okay to turn those people away?
1939.
Are you suggesting that because it was only 1938 that meant it was okay to turn those people away?
I'm just trying to clear up the facts.
Okay.
I know that 1938 and 1933 were the worst years of the Depression, and we had like 25% unemployment. So there were other reasons, too. And also, there's something else.
Well, for all you know, that could have been a ship full of entrepreneurs who would have...
Propaganda had been told about the Germans in the First World War that people didn't believe stuff about Germany and Hitler during that time.
Mm-hmm.
In that 1936 Olympics, my great uncle went. He was Secretary of Commerce. Everything looked wonderful. All the anti-Semitic signs were taken down.
Yeah. They didn't know about the...
that said Jews only were removed.
Right.
It looked like a perfect democracy.
They didn't know about the way Jews were being treated really until much later. Yeah, you're right about that. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. 84 Lumber. Just want to get a couple comments in briefly here. I thought it was a good ad. It was interesting. They followed along with these two immigrants as they arrive at a wall. There's a guy on the other side. Then there's this big door that's in the wall.
A big wooden door.
Kind of went in a direction I didn't really expect it to. Maybe we can talk a little further about it tomorrow night. It has been Ian here with you.
Johnny Ray.
And Daryl.
Check out more Daryl at his website, libertylobby.info. Some fresh videos going up on the Free Keene YouTube channel this weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers, and some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any tomfoolery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. And if you want to get your foot in the door with decentralized marketplaces, Agorist Hosting is now offering Open Bazaar hosting. Go to agoristhosting.com, click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agorist Hosting, that's AGORIST hosting.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
The Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, February 5th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.51 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,220 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,026. Antiwar.com reports the